In 1640, the Dutch West India Company's monopoly over the fur trade is over. The market is open to everyone. Unfortunately, some of these new traders were not honest with the Indians and they were encroaching on Indian territory. Besides that, Kieft insisted on taxing the Indians for protection. Protection from what? Well, according to Kieft, protection from the English and the other Indian tribes. Well, the local Indians were not happy. The situation was getting messy and we were heading straight for a disaster.
When population increases, you begin to have tensions between the Christians or the whites and the indigenous peoples. Livestock is getting into the Indian corn. The Indians retaliate by killing livestock. One thing leads to another and people start getting killed. And you have an escalation of unfortunate incidents that eventually lead to full-scale war. And Kieft simply didn't understand how to handle the situation.
Kieft's Indian War lasts almost 2 years and practically destroys the colony. At the end of that period, he's recalled back to Amsterdam to defend his actions. On the way home, a situation occurs all too common in that period. His boat sinks, he's drowned, and all his records are lost. His replacement, a 35-year-old military man by the name of Peter Stuyvesant. Stuyvesant is born in a little town in Friesland in the southern Netherlands around 1611 or 12. His father was a Dutch Reformed minister and had quite a strong Calvinist streak. The younger Stuyvesant almost followed his father into the ministry. Obviously he didn't, but he kept that rigid Calvinist personality all of his life. In 1632, Peter joins the quasi-militaristic anti-Spanish Dutch West India Company. The company sends him to the New World. He rises up through the ranks, becomes a commander, and in a battle with the Spanish in the Caribbean, he loses his right leg to cannon fire. They send him back to Amsterdam to recuperate. Shortly afterwards, he's appointed the new director of New Netherland to replace the hapless William Kieft. Stuyvesant and his wife travel across the Atlantic and arrive in New Amsterdam on May 11, 1647. There at the dock to greet him is the outgoing Governor Kieft, several of the company officials, the townspeople, and off on the side, watching all of this happen, is the lawyer Adrian van der Donck. We're here on the Hudson River by Albany. It's 1641. Landing nearby is a young Dutchman fresh from the Netherlands. His name is Adrian van der Donck. He's 23 years old. He's a recent law graduate of Leiden University back home. That's very prestigious. And he's just been offered a job here in the New World by a fellow named Kilian van Rensselaer. Rensselaer runs a thriving farming community on both sides of the Hudson here near Fort Orange. He wants van der Donck to be this community's new shoot. A shoot is a Dutch term for what we today would call a district attorney. Van der Donck is certainly qualified for the job, but what we're wondering is, why would a man with his credentials leave the Dutch Republic, which at that time had the highest standard of living in Europe, and come here to a raw new country? Well, we don't know why he left, but we certainly know that when he arrived here, he began a 14-year love affair with his adopted country. He doesn't spend a lot of time in Rensselaerwyck. He tries to buy land, that doesn't work out. So ultimately, he moves downriver and transfers his base of operation to the area around New Amsterdam.